Yo, good morning, my people. What's up, world? Top of the morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, May 21st, and I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ because with Him all things is possible. This No Duck Soul episode is sponsored by Business Sports Management. Follow my boy John Boy Belton on Facebook and Instagram. Again, John Boy Belton on Facebook and Instagram. Shout outs to the sponsor. Top of the morning to all my kings and queens out there moving around. Um, Everybody's going to school, going to work, doctor's appointments, vacations, store runs, wherever you're going. Please, safe travels out there, and be aware of your surroundings. And I hope you are feeling blessed and appreciated and thankful for seeing another day. It is a cold one out there this morning, y'all. I'm telling you, man, this weather, especially in New York, is funny. Probably the East Coast period, but in New York, it is funny. We were just out here last week, the week before, out here with shorts. We were living life, man. And then it goes right back to being cold, feeling like it's October. But you know, it is what it is. Um, I had a very interesting day yesterday, man. Got to be up in Gleason's gym yesterday with the 5 division, Undisputed, best women's fighter on the planet, the GWOAT, you know, Claressa T-Rex Shields. Oh man, it was a great moment, a moment that I had been waiting for a while, and I got it. Shout out to her, my man Pat Poose, who happens to be one of the coolest brothers around too. And of course, you know she has a fight coming up July 26th. Um, we're gonna get into that. And we're gonna get into more of what we're gonna see with her. So let's get into it. So for my newcomers, my regulars, everyone, welcome to the No Duck Zone podcast. Let's go. All right, who we got up in here? All right. EVO, I see you. Stormy B Man, what's up? AKA Sensei. So of course, yesterday Claressa Shields has her media workout for a fight coming up July 26th. Which when I found out she was having her media workout, it was actually it wasn't late, but it was just where I caught it where it would have happened yesterday, and I would have known nothing about it. Which it wasn't a lot of media, which it was kind of good when it's not a lot of media because some media act like they don't know how to act. Some people act like they have never been around fighters. They act like they have to be the first ones to ask the questions. They act like sometimes they're the only ones that's supposed to ask questions. So with it not being crowded yesterday, it turned out to be pretty damn good. Hey, I don't want nobody asking me why I didn't tell them either because, hey, I tell people everything about everything that's going on. It seems like every time I do, I'm the guy who never gets into an event, but he goes out his way to tell everybody everything. So yesterday was just all about me getting what I needed to get. So we watching Claressa's, do her media workout. Shouts to Coach Don, the guy you seen in there doing the pad work. If you go on my Instagram, shout out to Coach Don, one of the coolest coaches in there, Coach Blint. All the coaches in there, Gleason's. Shout outs to all of them. Shout outs to the media that came out yesterday. And we're watching her, and Jesus, I mean, just hearing her hit those pads. Claressa's a very strong woman. Even when you see her in person, she's stacked. I mean, you get a good look at Carissa, you might not ever see that. You might not ever see anything like that again in boxing, in females boxing. Mike, what's up? So anyway, um, we're waiting for her to come because we're not knowing if Carissa's gonna come in time. We don't know, which I'm saying to myself, she will. She's not like the other person we had to wait for at Gleason's all day to get no media coverage out of it, which I'll never do that again. So we're waiting, and she comes in about, I think, 12, after 12, and we're like, okay, it's time to get it going. She came in, you expect these fighters to come in, especially with Carissa, because we hear how she talks sometimes. So you expected her to be snobby or to have an attitude, or you just like, okay, let's see how this goes. Um, not like that with not like that with Carissa. She's a beautiful person, beautiful personality, and humble, but she's just the type that'll get on you if she got to. But other than that, her personality is amazing. She's a beautiful woman, and not just with looks, just the personality. Period. She's definitely cool to be around. Ah, my man D Free. What up, Free? Where my girl at? There's a young out nigga who's looking at Shields as a mentor and idol. Actually, yeah, Stormy. Um, yeah, there are a couple of females who were in the gym when she walked in yesterday got mesmerized because there was a lot of them that was like, "Oh my God, it was always my dream to meet her." A little girl was in the gym yesterday. She was almost full of tears. It was like, "Oh my God, this is Carissa Shields, man." She's how people, yeah, yeah. She's kind of like, "Hey, look, that fight might happen. That fight might actually happen." I don't. Well, not with her though. Not with her because she's in a different weight class. But yeah, she looks up to her, which is good. I'm thinking of another person, but yeah, she looks up to her. Caroline is good. I like her. Free, what up?
What's good? What's good?
Ain't shit, man. Chilling, man. The weather's so damn nasty, man. It's about to be nasty in New York today. I had a doctor's appointment that's right down the block from me. I'm not even going, man. I said I'm not going out there in that shit. It was supposed to rain at 9 o'clock, but the rain got started kind of early here. By the time I went to take Tip out, it wasn't even 7 o'clock yet. It was just about to, and already it was drizzling. I said, nah, I'm not going out there today.
Yeah, it's raining out here too.
I'm
My
like,
wife
I'm
said,
not going. I'm not going out there in that shit. It's
my
quiet.
wife said, we gotta go get some crab legs for Dream. I told him I was gonna get him some crab legs for his birthday. I said, well, we better go get them now because I
Big
ain't going out later.
dream. Big dream. Yeah, I'm not going nowhere. Even when I went out for the media workout, I went outside like it was summertime. I didn't give a shit because I said, man, I don't care. I'm throwing on my Duck Zone shirt, my shorts, my shoes, my everything I need, and I'm out of here. I'm like, I don't have time to play with Mother Nature. I'm not moving on Mother Nature time. Today I'm laying low. I'm not playing with the weather today. But
What's good?
so she's in the gym, and of course she's getting the questions that because that's the first thing that we started out with was asking the questions, and of course people taking pictures, and then her getting in there doing her thing. I noticed something yesterday, Free. Now you
What's
probably
up?
gonna ask me, as long as you've been watching Carissa, how the hell did you notice this now? Well, there's a difference from watching somebody on TV from actually watching them in person, even though it's just a media workout. Hearing that girl's punches on the pads was like hearing gunshots.
Huh? I mean, she went up in weight. She might have got her woman strength being at more of her weight class because she was fighting at the smaller weight. I mean, she got her first knockout in how many years?
Uh,
It's been a minute since Carissa Shields had got a stoppage or a knockout. So
Yeah.
She might be fighting at more of her normal weight because Claressa Shields, I mean, she's not a skinny girl. Like we look at Alicia
No,
Bungan,
hell no.
Alicia Bungan is a small girl. You look at Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano is a small woman. I said girl. I meant to say woman. They're
Yeah.
small women. Claressa Shields is not a small woman, so she might be fighting more at closer to her normal weight. So this is probably the strongest and the best that we're going to see of Claressa Shields because she's closer to her normal weight.
Yeah. I looked at her shoulders, just getting a close look at her, and I'm saying as I'm in the ring, right? As I'm by the ring, I mean, and I'm saying to myself, right? I looked down at one of the coaches, right? And I didn't want her to hear what I was saying because we was on camera. I says, how the hell is Alicia Baumgartner think she can go up against that? And he goes, yeah, she's fucking crazy. I said, she gotta be crazy. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want her to hear that, but I'm like, she gotta be crazy.
Yeah,
It's no way in hell.
yeah. BBO asked that question yesterday. He said, "Do Claressa Shields said she's going to campaign at heavyweight?" He said, "Do she need to campaign there, or do she need to go and fight Alicia Baumgartner?" I said,
Hell no.
what would be more satisfying, conquering the heavyweight division or fighting Alicia Baumgartner? She get more praise for being a four-time undisputed champion if she can do it at heavyweight than beating Alicia Baumgartner. Most people already expect her to beat Alicia Baumgartner, so
Yeah.
that's not going to be a big accomplishment if she goes out there and beat Alicia Baumgartner. That's not going to be a big accomplishment. What
Nah,
will be a bigger
they're gonna hold that. They're gonna hold that, man. They're gonna hold that against her.
Yeah, what will be a bigger accomplishment is by going out there and becoming a four-time undisputed champion. She didn't conquer four different weight classes. So nah, she'll I mean if Alicia want to fight, she can move up to heavyweight. If she can't move up to
Oh,
heavyweight, then worry about the people that's around your weight
so
class.
in case you people want to know too, that thumbnail you see, as of course, that's a picture I took of her as she's putting her hand on the woman's shoulder. You see down there. For y'all that don't know, that is Heather Hardy. For people who don't know, just letting people know in case they're like, who's that woman she's touching? Heather Hardy. So yeah, she's like to fight the heavyweight. She said she feels her strong. Yeah, she says it.
Yeah.
What's up, Nick? Good morning, Queen. Yeah, so as I'm watching her though, I notice the more she's doing the power work, free, the more strong she looks. I mean, them shots were like gunshots. And it's not like she was trying her hardest. She was just doing what she was doing. But I said, yo, and then I told Pat Poose yesterday, right? I said, yo, I ain't gonna lie, Pat. I thought that last fight, no, it's all good. Good morning, Queen. I thought the last fight that she had, I thought she almost put that woman out. That girl could take a punch because I thought Claressa knocked her ass out. I thought she was gone, and the woman she took that punch pretty good. And Pap is like, Pap is like, well, yeah, she took it good, but the next one ain't. I'm like, oh shit, like damn it,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
just
Alicia, I mean, Carissa, she been in the house bench pressing Pat Pooh, so I mean, she gonna be stronger.
hey, yeah, who's talking about her? Otherwise, guys may speak on her. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I said. That's
That
what I
wouldn't
said.
be
I mean,
smart. That wouldn't have been smart for her, though. I tell you that. That wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been a wise. It wouldn't have been a wise idea if you ask me.
you asking Carissa to move down in weight. It's easier to move up in weight than it is to move down in weight. So actually, Alicia Bungada will have the upper hand far as conditioning, because she's moving up in weight. You ask Carissa to drain herself and move down in weight. So nah, I mean, like I said, she's the big dog, and everybody is coming for her.
Man,
You
that
gotta
punch
you
scared me,
gotta
especially
literally
when
You
Yeah.
gotta literally come for her. I mean, if you wanna beat the champion, you gotta go get the champion. You can't have the champion come get you. That that don't even make sense.
No, it doesn't. Um, but as I'm watching it yesterday, like I'm saying, I'm talking to all the other media dudes in there, and we all looking at each other, and we're convinced that nobody's going to beat her unless you got some female version of Ivan Drago out there. I can't see it, free.
Um, I ain't gonna say nobody because this is boxing. Anything can happen.
Yeah,
Um, it the likelihood that we see from out of that division. Is there anybody that we think that can beat her?
what up, Josh?
You would probably say no for the simple fact you probably don't know all of the heavyweight fighters that's in the women division. So
That's what I'm saying. Unless you got some female version of Ivan Drago that we don't know anything about. Because remember, we always talk about some fighters don't have that type of audience where people know about them and they're good fighters. It's just that we don't know of them. We don't know nothing about them. And sometimes they keep them in the dark. But far as
it's
what
probably
we
it's probably
see,
it's probably a woman. It's probably a woman right there saying, "I'm just waiting for my opportunity. I'm gonna show the world that
yeah.
I can beat this woman."
But you know what I hate though about that, free? They keep fighters like that away though. And it's like, when do we,
Yeah,
I hate that they do that. Certain fighters, they can get that opportunity where they get the showcase, and then others, we don't get to see them. And I hate that they keep fighters like that away. And it's not that I'm
I
waiting
mean,
for somebody to come to beat, I'm not waiting for somebody to come and beat Carissa. I'm waiting for somebody to come to give her a fight.
yeah, I mean, like we said the other day, is more likely that we would see Carissa Shields in a competitive fight than it is for us to see one of these other guys in a even matchup or a competitive fight because the
Josh,
women it ain't that many fighters out there like I was saying when we looking at Alicia Bunga, our opponent, she's ranked number 3 out of 196 people in the world in that division. 196. And then you look
that's
at
crazy.
Jerron Buzinis. Jerron Buzinis is ranked number 1 out of 2,516 in the world in that division. So the women got 200 people. The men got almost 3,000 people in their
Yeah.
division. So it ain't. That's what I said. The women's side is always more competitive because it ain't that many women out there. So the likelihood of you seeing a good fight from the women is more likely than it is for the men. The only time you're going to see a real good fight from the men, for the most part, is if they fighting one of these other guys that we believe that's elite.
Yeah. Oh
For the
shit,
most
Josh.
part,
Josh, you trying to get that woman? Boy, Josh, I don't know what you think you doing. You trying to get that woman, man? Hell to the
no,
nizzle.
I don't think Carissa Shields. I don't think Carissa Shields need to go down to no weight class. She's
You gonna get
already
that?
conquered those weight classes. There's no
You gonna
reason
get
for
that?
her to go down to any weight
Even if
class.
she did,
Like,
Jesus Christ, Michaela Mayer. I like Michaela. I'm a fan of Michaela, but Jesus,
no, I mean, I just don't. I'm not part of that people that say, "Oh, she needs to move down to fight this person." No, she already conquered that weight class.
she's
Like,
Josh said
she conquered that weight class.
he said they've been talking about it. I mean, if they've been talking
Yeah,
about it, I don't
no,
know.
I, I'm not. I'm not mad if she do it. I'm saying I would not say she needs to move down to fight
Yeah,
anybody. They need
yeah.
to move up to fight her. Now, if she does it, she does it. I'm just saying I
But
wouldn't say she needs to move down. She's already conquered that.
Didn't Michaela go to 47?
I don't know.
I
I
think
don't
she
know.
moved up in her last fight. So yeah, to come trying to play at, I mean, I can't see Michaela going to 75. I don't
Hold
know.
on 1 second.
Go ahead.
Hold on one second.
I can't see Michaela going to 75. I don't even know I don't even, anybody might know what her walk around weight might be. I don't know what Michaela, she would only do it for me. Yeah. No one else. Yeah, her and Michaela are cool though in real life. I don't know what Michaela walk around weight is. I believe her last fight was at where did she fight Sandy at, y'all? That last girl she fought Sandy. I believe that was her last two fights. Where did she fight Sandy at? Was it 47? I don't think it was any lower than that. I think Michaela's last fight was at 47. I'll look it up. 47, right? Yeah, yeah, okay. So her walk around weight might be, I don't know, 150. I'm not 150, like, well, I don't know, 155, 160. I don't know. Michaela Mayer, what you think her walk away? What you think Michaela walk around weight is, Free? If she's fighting at 47.
Probably like 160.
Okay.
Probably like 160.
Josh said 165, maybe. Okay. 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 Um,
I don't know if it's gonna be that high because that's like almost 20 pounds higher than the weight class. Michaela Mayer is not that young. She once you start getting up in those 30s, it's
yeah, it's
harder to
different.
lose that weight. So it's harder to lose that weight. So you don't want to get too far away from your weight class.
There go the woman there go the woman that makes sure nobody ever starves in America. Mrs. Free. That's my girl, Mrs. Free in the building.
And I had to go get Dream some crab legs.
Oh man,
Go
Dream so spoiled. He actually eats that?
Yeah.
that nigga eat everything.
Why you ain't tell me
That's
that?
all
Well, I
right.
could have got him something. I could have got him that. Well, if I knew that, then he could have had that at the damn barbecue. God damn, Free, you don't never tell me nothing, man. Jesus.
Why would I tell you to get some daggone crab legs for drink when you had like 20 hungry ass adults out there? I ain't trying to fight everybody.
Man, I won't give a damn about no 20 grown ass adults. That's Dream. That's Dream.
Yeah, I
Dream
know I know you
girlfriend.
I know you don't I know you don't give a fuck about it. I'm the one that's gonna have to fight him.
Shit, you ain't gonna fight nobody because Dream ain't gonna have that.
It gonna
Dream
be it's
ain't
gonna
gonna
be
have that.
me and Dream out there. Me and Dream gonna be out there going blows. He gonna go for the peanuts and I'm gonna go for the chin.
You know what? Your husband's an ass. I swear he is, yo. He's an ass. I can't
He
stand him.
telling the truth.
He's
He
an
telling the
ass.
truth now.
I can't stand him. He go Dream going for the nuts and you go for the chin. Oh, yo.
Dream told me last night. I came in the room to mess with him. He said, "Papa, I'm telling you, I'm gonna kick you in the peanuts." I said, "If you kick me in my damn peanuts, I'm gonna whoop your ass." He like, "Well, you just gonna have to whoop my ass though. If you come over here, I'm gonna kick you in the peanuts."
Hey, dream one of those. You can't tell me you gonna kick me. You gonna whoop my ass. You got to show me. Who he get that from? He get it from you because can't nobody tell you that they gonna whoop your ass. They got to show you. If that's where he get it from, you got to show me. You can't tell me you gonna whoop my ass. Show me. He get it from his. He get it from Paw Paw, just like his Paw Paw. Shout out to my man Dream, man,
Oh boy,
my man. But yeah, I can't see her. Yeah, I can't see her doing that though.
nah,
To go down to
nah, she ain't,
170.
she ain't doing
175 to 60. I mean, she could do it for her, but I don't know about that, bro.
that. She ain't doing that.
He said you
But
gonna
what?
have to whip my ass, Dream. Out here testing. Yeah, Dream out here testing manhoods.
Yeah.
I'm
Hold on one
coming
time.
here
I got
to
to go in the
Detroit
house.
to the fight for the. No, I wish. No, I wish I could, Nick. I wish I could come out there, Queen, to Detroit. I actually want to come to Detroit, period, because I know Detroit has a lot of, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of boxing gyms. I like to talk to the youth out there, a lot of amateurs. So I have plans to come. I don't know when though. Might be a couple of years from now, but no, no. I'm not going to come. I'm waiting for Claressa to come to New York. which we asked her yesterday about her coming to New York, and because she has fans here. She needs to know that she doesn't only have fans in Michigan. She has a busload of fans in New York. We love her here. The East Coast, period. We love her here. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Philly, DC. We love her here. So we just can't wait till she comes out here and fight. And we're hoping after this next fight in July, maybe the end of the year, we can get something going with her coming here. That's where you from, Nick? You from Detroit? Nicky, you from Detroit? Shout out to Motown, man. The Motor City, Detroit, Midwest. I mean, shout out to the whole D-Town, man. But I don't know nothing, as always, about her opponent on the 26th of July. All I know is that she is a two division champion. Now that I can't say, like, that's she's a nobody. She's a 2 division champion. And I heard she's been talking a little smack, but that happens. Yeah. Shout out to Detroit, man. I'm gonna get out to Detroit because Detroit has a lot of history. Detroit has a lot of history, and some of the finest artists that all this music that we done heard. A lot of people came from out of that area. And Motown was something real. And shout out to Detroit. I'm gonna go stand and take a picture right where the Motown little. I wonder if the Motown, the recording place, is still there. I'm gonna take a picture by that over there. 'Cause that's epic. But yeah, he's a 2 division champion. That's all I know. But I know I will be tuned in July 26th to see Claressa do what she does, and hopefully after this, I know at some point she wants to take a break. So we'll see what happens. He says, guys, when you go to the go to a soulful spot down there. You will. Soulful spot. I know Detroit. Detroit look like they got good food. Detroit look like they got good food and all that. Motown Museum is still there. Okay, that's where I want to go. That's where I want to go. That's where I want to go. Motown Museum in Detroit. I was just saying about some of the most finest music we have heard in the world before any of us was even born or around when we was born. Oh, a lot of it came before we was born. Came out of that Motown, man. That Motown, that lineup that they had in Motown was disrespectful. Disrespectful. That's why I love watching the Temptation movie. Because like when they all was on the bus and they had the different acts on one bus, I mean, come on, that lineup was nasty. You'll never get another lineup like that ever. Shout out to Detroit. Yeah, I would love to come out there to see Claressa fight, man. I would love it because I don't want to be in New York all day anyway, so I would love to come and just experience that out there. And I am going to do it one day when I guess when I get to a point where I can travel and I'm good financially. Oh yeah, Detroit, Chicago, that Midwest, Indiana. Yeah, I'm going through all that. I'm gonna go through all that, man. It's just gonna take me some time. Takes time to get to
going through none of if I gotta drive.
No, I'm doing it because I want to go to different gyms that's in different cities. I'm not going nowhere in nobody's city where I don't belong. As far as let me go to this neighborhood because I heard this rapper's from over there. Hell no, you get your ass wrapped up in the bag. I ain't trying to do all that. There's a hood everywhere. If people got common sense, they know. In the words of Scarface, or the Ghetto Boys, as you say, the world is a ghetto. So if you think you're the only person that come from a hood, there's a hood everywhere. Hell to the no. No, sir. I'm in that state for 2 reasons. I'm on business.
Son of a
I'm on
bitch.
business. I want to come there and check the gym, find out where the best food is, soul food, and then get the hell
Stupid
out.
ass bitch.
This guy right here, D Free, y'all have to excuse him. This guy's crazy.
Stupid ass bitch.
So this girl she's fighting July 26th is a 2 division champion. Free. What do you know about her?
Hold on. Let me. That's me in the background.
You want me to bring you up?
Yeah, I'm in the back.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get an echo. I'm getting one already.
I'm about to turn.
Okay. Kondo, what up? I like that. I like that right there. I like it. Yeah, that one. I love Detroit soul food spots. Grade A. I'm gonna go one day. I'm gonna go, Josh. I promise you, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. It's gonna take a minute to get there. I'm gonna go. When you don't realize how good food is until you leave your town. New
Man,
York has
Detroit ain't got no good food.
New York has a lot of great food, but when you go outside of New York and you start tasting, like I know where D3 is at, I know the food is slamming. I'm gonna find out too. I know it is. I know it is. If it ain't the pizza, it's burgers, it's a chicken spot, it's something out there that attracts people when they're out there.
Out DC?
You ain't gonna sit there and tell me there ain't nowhere to eat out there in DC. And I don't mean just
I was gonna tell you what would attract people to DC in this area. It's our seafood. We're known for the crabs. Bro,
y'all
rolling
in Maryland.
blue crabs.
I heard that between y'all and Maryland, when it's a seafood fest, is either you go to Maryland or DC. I'm like, I don't care which one. I'll take Tiffany to either one because she's a seafood head. You want to shut her up? Get her some seafood. And you won't hear shit from her for the rest of the day.
That's what we know. That's what we're known for. We're known for the seafood. Let me turn this daggone background off.
That girl don't care nothing about where it is at. She does not care wherever the seafood is at. But yeah, I don't know much about Carissa's opponent, but just her being a 2 division champion. And that's about it. And she's been talking a little smack. You know, like Claressa said, I heard her talking. She's been talking a little crazy, but we gonna fix all that July 26th. Okay, so like we said, Free, for every division, how many fighters would you say are per division? Because you know, there's a lot of people in each division. You probably can't come up with a number because there's so many fighters. We only bring up
for women,
huh?
For women,
for the women.
Are you saying how many fighters for each division? Are you talking about
yes,
good fighters, or are you talking about overall fighters?
We're just talking about overall.
For each division for women, somewhere around 150 to 200. There ain't that many fighters.
So how many you think you are? How many you think there are in heavyweight? If you could just guess a number.
Oh, I can look it up. I ain't got to guess.
Oh, well, yeah. Please look it up, because I'm just trying to make it make sense. Like, because when they say, "Oh, who's Claressa gonna fight? Who's out there for?" It's somebody out there. Just because you're not familiar with the name, or you never seen them, there's somebody out there. Right? If y'all think they're good enough to know.
I gotta guess at all.
Yeah, her last opponent had like nobody knew much about her last opponent. I knew of her because I seen her just before she turned pro, but other than that, nobody really knew. Because the question is gonna be, okay, who's gonna be next for her? Nikki said, "I love DC." Yeah, I love DC. DC's it's a popping place. It could be popping 2 ways. It could be popping. You can go have fun, or you can get your ass popping. Yeah, DC straight. Shout out to DC, man.
1 second, about to pull it up.
That's why I need to go down there, because I know there's some gyms down there. I know there's gyms down there.
Okay. Oh.
What happened?
Women heavyweight.
Yeah.
Claressa Shields is the #1 heavyweight in the world out of 29. In the US, out of 5. It's only 29 women in heavyweight for the females.
That's still a good number though, because Carissa's 30, and I'm sure she's not gonna doing this probably 5 years from now, because she already said at some point she wanted to have 2 more fights, then go on to have some kids.
Yeah,
So
she's gonna try to get 2 more title fights. Hold up.
yeah,
Oh no, she is undisputed at heavyweight.
yeah.
No. She's missing 1 belt. She's missing 1 belt. It says, hold up. It says IBF World Heavyweight, WBC World Heavyweight, WBF World Heavyweight. I don't know what the WBF is. And it says the WBF World Middleweight and then the WBO World Middleweight. What is the WBF?
WBF.
What the hell is the WBF?
That sounds like wrestling.
I gotta click.
Yeah, you gotta look that up. They sound like.
I've never heard of WBF before.
Yeah, I never heard of that shit too. It sounds like wrestling. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but it just sounds like wrestling. Miss Nikki, you got 4 videos, so I subscribe to you. I see you at 23 subscribers. You just got another subscriber. So if you see 20, no, you had 22, but you got 23 now. So I became one of your subscribers. I see the videos you got, so I'm tuning in, sis. Ohio One's Boxing, what's up?
What the heck?
Let me give.
Matter of fact, Ohio Runs Boxing. What is the WBF World Title? What is that? I've never heard of that before. The WBF World Title.
Hold on, let me see if I can get him in here. I'd rather study him trying to type. He can just come on in. Let me send him the link.
I've never heard of that before. The WBF?
Yeah, I ain't never heard of it neither. No problem. No problem, Queen. Yeah, I usually don't give people renters when they walk in, but you seem to be critical. What? 49 what?
Yeah, but it's only 20. I know I was saying there's only 29 women in the female heavyweight. So she should, I mean, if she's not undisputed, I didn't know that she got that many titles in that one fight that she had at heavyweight.
She bought the belts. She bought all her belts to the gym yesterday. I counted 5.
But yeah, I mean, she might be undisputed. I mean, she's a 4-time undisputed champion.
Oh, Women's Boxing Federation and knockout all female IBF version. I'm guessing. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like, Josh. It said World Boxing Federation, whatever that means. Oh, World Boxing Federation. I swear that shit sound like wrestling. Tell me you don't, Free. Don't that shit sound like World Wrestling Federation?
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like.
Maybe that's the women's version of the WBA now, because
maybe
they don't have the WBA. Well, they're not recognizing the WBA in BoxRec. So maybe that's the women version of the WBA.
If you can explain, Free, is there a reason why they're not recognizing that or acknowledging it?
Because of Turkey and Ring Magazine.
Oh yeah, because he did that.
Turkey bought Ring Magazine, and I believe he bought BoxRec as well.
What kind of money that man walk around with? That's crazy. Damn.
They're not recognizing the WBA, and the main reason why they're not recognizing the WBA is because of Tank.
Oh, damn you, Tank. Ohio Runs Boxing. My brother Marcus. What up?
It's good, guys. Got me a little early, man. I gotta be.
That's okay. Listen, I gotta catch you early because I'm telling you, at some point we're gonna have to make appointments to speak to you.
Oh yeah. You crazy, man. What's good though, man?
Yeah, we talking about this belt, man. We was trying to figure out what this belt mean because we ain't never heard of it.
Yeah, it's more like you said the WBF.
Yeah, WBF.
It's more like a regionals title, but I think back in the day it was actually like the women's first like recognized title before the sanctioning bodies got involved, I believe. Because you remember it was like one of their first real recognized titles that started. I think it was actually the world title before the sanctioning body started getting involved in one of them sanction fees, and you know what I mean, and start bringing the women along. So it got some history to it, though. It definitely got some history to it.
So is Claressa undisputed at heavyweight, or she still need to fight one more fight?
I'm gonna be honest. She's introducing me to the heavyweight division, so I have no idea what's going on up there.
Because I was just looking at her box rec, and I see she got. I mean, of course, they're not recognizing the WBA, but she got every title, and it just doesn't have the WBA because they're not recognizing the WBA.
That's the right. They're not reckoning on the box rate. That's what that can be confusing sometimes when you're trying to bring up undisputed statistics and when did somebody win the WBA. That could be you'd be like, what in the world? So yeah, that throws you off. But I think she does got 3, and I think she is. She might be the undisputed up there. But the problem is, I don't know. I haven't seen any of the other women box that's in the division.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out. So they had all the belts on the line for that fight, and that was her first fight at heavyweight.
They built at heavyweight,
and I know that girl wasn't a champion. So all those belts was vacant, and they put them all on the line.
That's you know what? It's similar to Ronda Rousey, though. You gotta listen. I ain't gonna criticize Claressa when it comes to that because they did that with Ronda Rousey. They created a whole division for that girl. For promotion reasons. So, you know, I get it. I see it. You know, it's like, dang, you know, it's accolades is trying to sell. At least they trying to push the women boxing when it comes to that, to that nature. You know what I mean? I just wrote a little quick article this morning and posted it. Was talking about Bob Arum and Jake Paul. And it wasn't, to me, I wasn't focused on Bob Arum and Jake Paul's beef, what they got going back for. I was more focused on Bob being too intelligent to get caught up in a situation where he criticized Jake, cool, but now you throwing other people under the bus when you sit there and say women boxing, don't nobody watch women boxing, but yet you got Myers signed from Top Rank under you. That's crazy. That's the problem.
That's crazy.
I'm like, whoa.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, if PBC said that, it's understandable. They don't sign female boxers.
Yeah,
so,
it's more.
You know, they don't. I'm not holding them accountable for that because they're showing through their actions what they're more invested in. But you can't sign women to your company and then sit there and say a statement out there publicly like that. That's the problem I have with that. You know what I mean? So
that's what.
Josh Sanders, you right. She did have a belt, but I think she got stripped when she popped dirty. Anna Gabriel did have a belt. Yeah, she did have one because that's who Claressa was going to fight for her belt. But I think when she popped dirty, I think they stripped her.
Yeah, they sure did strip her.
Nasty.
Oh yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah, Bob got to chill with that. I don't know what be wrong with them over there because they just.
I think he getting a little older though, Clarence. I think he getting a little older, and I'm not even taking. I'm not. And he got and he a little emotional. Sometimes you get a little too emotional when you try to respond to somebody.
I hate to say this.
I'm giving him a benefit of the doubt, man.
I hate to say this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it anyway. That whole damn company's emotional. The whole damn company's emotional because I'm telling you, man, they'd be like, "What's wrong with y'all over there, man?" Yeah. And you got to be careful because Michaela Mayer hears something like that and be like, you know, shit. You don't want to look up and she over there with Jake because it can happen now.
That's what I said. It's interesting to see her take. I want to hear her opinion on it after seeing that because, and there's another thing too, and I'm gonna say this too because I don't want to be off topic because I didn't know what y'all was talking about, but
we were just talking about Claressa Shields and her fight coming up.
Okay,
but go ahead.
The notion, listen, and this is where you got to be able to bring logic and separate it from emotional. You know, some guys, I get it, don't like Jake Paul. Some guys say he's not a good fighter. I'm okay with that. I can take all that. He's from our area. You know, I'm an Ohio guy. I can take constructive criticism, especially when it's truth behind it, right? But when you say he's not a real fighter, you have to break down the criteria of what a real fighter is. And if that's true, if you say Jake is not a real fighter, then you have to say Floyd Mayweather is only 49-0. You can't say
that. I've always said that.
Yes, I'm saying Floyd can't be 50-0, and then you say, well, Jake ain't a real fighter when Floyd fought a guy in the first professional bout out of MMA, and he's 50-0, and people ride with that. So it's like, come on, man. But the point I brought that up was Jake is a real pro fighter because he's fighting professionally, and he has fight other professional fighters. And let's take the MMA guys out of here. What makes you a real fighter is when you fight under those bright lights as a professional fighter. Now, if you say he's not a contender, I ain't debating that. You say he's not one of the top prospect, I ain't debating that. But you're not going to sit there and say he's not a real professional fighter, because you have to break down the criteria of what a real professional fighter is. So I hear that go in social media, and a lot of people swing, but they don't have no criteria to fall back on when it comes to that. So
I've always said that I don't count Floyd at 50-0. I said in my book he's always been 49-0 because I don't count that daggone McGregor fight. Other people do count it, but I never counted the McGregor fight. So
what up, Jay Gibson?
I think that's fair though. That's a fair assessment because he came out of nowhere and they sanctioned it, and it was like, dang, should even be allowed?
I got off the whole what Jake Paul is. The thing is this. I respect him for what he does with the women, and I leave it at that. I have no time to keep he's not a fighter and I don't like his opponents, and all he does is fight guys who are washed up. I'm not gonna lie, Ohio. I was one of the guys that will be on here saying, man, I'm not entertaining that dude. I don't even want to talk about him. But at the same time, I can't sit here and say we have to pay attention to these women more in boxing, not just professionals, but amateurs. And then I look at what he's doing with the women, and I still go out my way to hate him. I can't do that. I
look at Jake Paul as more of a women's promoter than I do as a fighter. I don't look at him as a serious competitor in the sport of boxing. I look at him as more of a promoter. He's like what Floyd Mayweather was at the end of his career. Floyd Mayweather was putting on fights just to showcase Tank Davis, and that's how I look at Jake Paul. He's just putting on fights to make some money on the back end, but also showcase the women, because he knows if he put these former MMA fighters in here with him, or these former pro fighters in there with him, people are going to be drawn in to see if these pro fighters are going to beat him, but they also going to pay attention to the women that he got on there. So
but that's
on the map.
I get what you're saying too, and I think that's the part of the risk. I have that slogan I've been saying for years, Ohio runs boxing, for that simple reason. When it comes to our state, we always set the bar. We started first. We set the trend. From Don King taking over the heavyweight division, coming in, from Al Heyman starting the high purse after that too, and then you got Jake taking on a risk of promoting women boxing. Bob Arum, Don King, it's a lot of great promoters that got experience in here. It's tough to try to take on that task with women boxing. That is not easy. It's not easy.
My thing I always say is this.
That is not easy.
Even when people was getting on the whole thing with Turk, I used to tell people, because they say you're defending him. I'm not defending him. I say this. If you can't match what Turki Al-Sheikh is doing and what Jake Paul is doing, you have no right to complain about anything. If it's something that you see that's bothering you, take whatever money that you got and match what they doing, which I doubt you can do. But if you can do that, congratulations. But I have no beef with what Jake is doing, because these women deserve it. Let me tell you, these women can fight better than your male fighter, better than your favorite fighter. So I respect him on that, and that's why I fall back. Because before, I used to be the guy that will bash him heavily, and I'm not gonna lie, I used to do it constantly because I didn't understand what he was doing. Study me just sitting back. This is why I learned to shut up. I sit back to see what you're doing. At the beginning, I didn't see what he was doing. Now I get a clear understanding, and I go, okay, you know what? Leave that man alone, because you can't do shit that man's doing. I can't come close to doing what he's doing. So you know what? Let me shut up and mind my business and just be a fan.
You know, and I always respect criticism too, and we can change our perspective. We can change our perspective over time. There's nothing wrong with that. I think some people try to shame that, like, oh man, you was this stand 1 minute. No, we grow and learn different things. My thing was, I've always stood and looked at the bigger picture with Jake Paul, and I was telling people, I'm okay with people calling him trash. I don't get too emotional behind that, or he can't fight, or he fight basketball players. I know that's entertainment. I get that. I'm not a fan of it either. But I look at the bigger picture of what he brings to when it comes to the eyes. And I've always told fighters this too. Be careful before Jake Paul even came. Be careful who you put your mouth on, because you never know who door you got to knock on just to get in. You have to be very careful on who you put your mouth on, because you never know who door you got to knock on just to get in. That goes for other fighters you hating on, and this is locally. We got guys that don't like this fighter, and then before you know it, this fighter is headlining, and guess who needs to be on the undercard? You do. But since you've been talking so much about him, he's going to pass you up, right? So he ain't putting you on the undercard. And we have to start thinking more consciously about those certain things instead of individual minded. You just never know. And but it's never gonna stop me from criticizing certain people either.
I'm glad you said that, Ohio, and I want D Free to chime in on this. With that being said, you know, there's been a lot of back and forth with Claressa and Jake Paul. But at some point, can you see her over there with him?
Her ego is too big, but I think it would have been a nice combination. Me looking at the Midwest combination with Floyd Mayweather, Al Heyman, Michigan and Ohio coming together doing great things. I can see Jake and her being from Michigan too, just doing great things. That's the statistic wise. Yeah, I think that would have been nice. I just think her ego, and she was going at it so hard. She didn't have nobody really sitting down telling her, hey, you gotta look at the bigger picture. We gotta slow down. You know, she stood on her ground. My thing is, if this is true, I don't know if it's true or not, don't go asking for free tickets. If this is true, why are you asking for free tickets if you didn't say this publicly? You didn't got this against me or Serrano. You didn't go, y'all. We go back and forth. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. If I'm arguing with you and we going back and forth, why would I want to come and ask for something free? I pay to come to the event to support, but I'm not asking for something free when I know me and you been going back and forth. You know, that's my thing. So it's like, yeah. So, but to answer your question, could they work together now? I don't know. I don't think so. I think the damage is done. Maybe if it comes to a scenario, if it's a fight that's makeable, and it makes more sense, I think they will work together when it comes to that. You know, but as far as that, I think Claressa is pretty much on her way out the door. So, you know, that's what I think.
I was going to say the same thing. Now, at this point in her career, it's no point, because she ain't got nothing but a couple of fights left. She's already the heavyweight undisputed champion. It ain't nothing but 29 females at the weight class, so she ain't got nothing but a couple of fights left. So she's not coming in there to be a partner, because he already has Amanda Serrano. So that ship has sailed as far as Jake Paul and Claressa working together. Now, I mean, maybe she can be a trainer for somebody and works under Jake Paul and Amanda Serrano. Maybe in that aspect, or maybe she can be a commentator or something like that in that aspect. But far as like actually up there with Jake Paul and Amanda Serrano, I think that ship sailed.
You know what I see happening with her? I see her having her own promotional company, maybe with females too, and maybe them two facing each other in that. That's what I see happening.
That's gonna be tough, but yeah, that would be tough. But
I mean, possibly, I just don't know. I don't know if Claressa wants to take that road of being a promoter. I don't know, because some of these fighters, when they're at the top level, some of these fighters like Floyd Mayweather, they don't know how to be a promoter, because it's always all about them.
Facts.
So some of them just don't know how to do it. that's the reason why Floyd Mayweather promotion company is pretty much non and void now, because he kept making it all about him instead of making it about his stable. Floyd Mayweather had a nice stable. Y'all gotta remember had Tank, he had Mickey Bay, he had what's the guy name that just fought?
Mind you, he had
Hitchens.
He had Hitchens. He had what's the other dude?
The guy that just fought last week. He just fought last week. Dubois. I mean, not Dubois.
Badu Jack.
He had a nasty stable. His stable was
Lysandra Jones. If they would have invested in her, I like the Lysandra, man. Lysandra Jones was another one.
Didn't he have Jaleel too?
Yep.
Yeah, he had Jaleel and he had Hatchet. So
he didn't even have Jaleel alone. Yeah, he didn't, but going back to what you just said, Free, what separates Jake Paul when it comes to promotion? What separates him from being promoted? What separates him from the rest? Because it seemed like he don't like all the attention on him. He actually, it's really about his fighters.
No, I think he does, but he got the social media experience.
He likes the attention when it's about him, but when it comes to the fighters, he really does a great job in promoting them. So what separates him from the rest of them?
I think what separates him is the fact of him actually drawing eyes to the females. Like Eddie Hearn do a good job putting on women fights. Even Bob Hearn, when Bob Hearn was really putting on these women fights, he did a good job of putting on the women fight. But the problem was they wasn't drawing eyes. Like Jake Paul is drawing eyes to the women because, like I said, he's putting himself in here with former MMA fighters and former pro fighters that they know that they have he knows that they have a big fan base. So these people are going to buy the pay-per-view to see these other guys fight, but at the same time, they drawing eyes to the women that's on the card early, because those people buy the cards and watch the cards early, and then they get the main event. So the whole focus is on the women. Yeah, you got the Jake Paul fight at the end, but most people, for the most part, we don't really care about the Jake Paul fight. Now, the people that's the fans of the main event, yeah, they're going to be watching the Jake Paul fight. But like I said, all of those people that don't normally watch boxing, like the MMA fan base that don't normally watch boxing, now they're watching these female fighters. They're watching them, and they talking about these female fighters because they saw them fight. For the most part, they probably would have never saw them fight. But because Jake Paul was fighting against Silver, he was fighting against the other guy, the black guy that he knocked out. He was watching them, and he watched. So when they bringing these fans in to the sport, now they might not pay attention to the male boxers, but they're paying attention to these female fighters because they on the card. So that's the difference. He's drawing eyes to the female fighters.
Like, I'm gonna say this:
when Eddie Hearn put on a card, he's putting on a card on Matchroom. Most of the time, the main event is not even something that we really care to see. So ain't nobody really buying into seeing that. So they still ain't getting the exposure of the female fighters. I mean, the diehards are watching it, but the vast majority of people that don't really watch boxing like that, the casuals, they're not buying into it because they don't care about the main event. So they're not even watching the zone. Most of them probably don't even have the zone on their phone or their laptop or TV. Most of them probably don't even have the zone. So it's a difference.
I'm gonna say this. I think I agree with what you're saying. I think another part is he's already experienced. He's the most experienced when it comes to the promotion side with social media than these other promoters. He already knows how to do it. He knows how to tap into your emotions. He knows how to make troll posts. He knows he already up ahead of everybody that's older in this boxing game when it comes to social media. He is a technician at that. And I think another thing that plays a part of what you're saying with the women boxing, they're delivering. We've been watching women boxing before, Jake. It's been televised. These women are delivering on most valuable promotion under there. It's like maybe their pressure, maybe because of those bags is better and they want to fight for another one, but they are delivering. And that's one of the key things when I'm seeing his fights with the girls fighting on there different from other fights. And you're right, Top Rank has some good fights. I thought Michaela Meyer and Alicia was a good fight. So we can talk about good fights on other promotional companies, but they've been having some fire fights under those cards, man. And I think that's the thing. It's like they go hand in hand, not just Jake, in my opinion. The matchmaking is great.
Yeah, what he's doing is amazing. You know, you look at him, you look at Eddie, because Eddie got a couple of ladies over there. I think I brought this up to D Free the other day. I don't know if he remembers, but I want to ask you. Why do you think that we're not seeing any women on any Turkey Al Sheet cards?
The same the same reason I just brought up PVC. Some of them just not invested in that. They don't believe in that. And I'm okay with that. I think I can't force somebody to look at a product that I want if they don't believe in it and they don't have the intentions of it. I deal with this on behind closed doors when I'm doing certain things for the Ohio Unboxing brand. I sit with people talking about where we can take it to the next one. Their opinion is totally different from mine. They want to go this route and this. I'm like, no, man, this is what I want to focus on. This is what I like doing. This is what I've been. If you got a whole total direction, I don't want to. Ain't no partnership here. Because you don't understand where I'm trying to take it. So you will have people like that. So I think it's okay for Turkish to have his vision when it comes to men. But it's always going to be number one. That's why I appreciate Jake for taking that risk of trying to push it, because it might open up doors for other promoters that's coming up and say, okay, we see how Jake is doing it. Because all it takes is a blueprint. Turkey Al-Sheet didn't come until after Al Heyman. Let's just call it a buck. Let's just keep it a buck. He came after he seen Al Heyman and seen everything. He took his time before he actually started taking off and seeing how everything was done. So that's what it is. It's going to come down to a blueprint. But I don't have a problem with Turkey Al-Sheet not signing female fighters. I wish he could. We got a lot of great ones in our backyard. And you know what I mean? So that's how I look at it too. It's like everybody that's elite from Ohio, they talking about Jake. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about Jake is from our area. So, he showed love. He's definitely gonna open up doors for him. That's why I was telling people, y'all better stop putting your mouth on that dude. And you local, don't do it. He didn't came back to Ohio and put Montana Love on, and Montana put Thomas Matias on, and Charles Conwell ate because of Jake. So it was a lot of opportunities from somebody in your area that come back. And I remember being, let me make it short, so I don't want to be long-winded, but I remember telling people that I said, Jake Paul, okay, is not a real fighter in some people's opinion, but yet he came back to Ohio and put on a pay-per-view and put real fighters on it. We ain't had that since Broner. Sean Porter could have came back and headlining when after his Earl Spence fight. He was on top. He lost, but it was a competitive fight and people was behind him. He should have came back to Ohio and fought in Akron. But it took Jake to come back and help with a lot of people because it opened up doors. Montana started headlining. He was feeding fighters under his roster that was from Ohio. So that's the domino effect that people got to understand. You got to see the bigger picture. When the guy at the top is eating, everybody's eating. When Broner was at the top eating, Terrell Goucher was eating, Rasheed Warren was eating, Robert Easter was eating, Albert Bell was eating. Everybody get to fight on the undercard because the headliner is the man. Once he goes down, everybody else go down, especially when you ain't a headliner.
Yeah. I think when it comes to Turkey, you also got to remember Turkey is Muslim, and over in his country, they look at women differently. So the things that women does in the United States, they can't do that in Saudi Arabia. That's why a lot of the times we see Turkey with these cars, and you see male car dudes. I don't even know how to call them. I'm used to saying ring girls, male. the ring males. That's why you see that, because they look at women differently. Women are supposed to be seen and not heard. They're not supposed to reveal their body to the public. It's only to their husband. So that's the reason why you don't see women fighters with Turkey, because of the way they look at women.
I respect that though, man. I in a way, you gotta respect that, man. And even me finding out little things over the years, I didn't even know you can go to jail for arguing back with a man. I was like, whoa, if that's a law, I didn't know that. So when I found that out, I said, wow, the power of that, because it's not only power, but it's a good law for respect. We shouldn't even. That's all it comes down to. Ain't got nothing to do with
these women in America would lose their mind if they had to go through that over there. They would lose their mind. Say one more word to me, and your ass is getting locked up.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine?
No, heck no. I see these women because every Friday and Saturday night I gotta patrol this parking lot for these nightclubs out in DC. And every Friday and Saturday night, I see at least half of the females out there pretty much with nothing on. Yep. These women ain't gonna know how to act when they gotta cover up everything. They're like, man, I paid a lot of money for this daggone this hairdo and all this makeup. You telling me I gotta cover up? Nah. Oh, yeah, covering up. That's another reason why you don't see a lot of women in the United States. A lot of these young women, I ain't gonna say a lot of women, a lot of these young women, you don't see a lot of the young ones as Muslims because they can't dress the way they dress when they go to these clubs. That's why you don't see a lot of young women. Most of the time when women become Muslim in the United States, unless they was already brought up in that religion, most of the time those women don't become Muslim until they're older. Because now all of that partying is out their system and all that stuff. Now they're ready to settle down and have a family. That's when they start look at things a little bit different. But these young women, they're not gonna be no Muslim. They can't come outside dressed the way they normally dress. No, they're not doing that.
They're not doing it.
They want to go through they want to go through their whole phase.
Yeah, they want to go through their Uchiwali thing. You know what I mean? They you know what I'm saying? What? I gotta cover up what? You know how long it took me to get this booty?
That's so crazy, man. And thank God all the women ain't like that, but we do got a lot of them like that in America, but all of them ain't like that.
No, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't
find
gonna
the right ones, man. You gotta find the right ones.
Let me tell you something. I ain't gonna lie. Being in that gym yesterday and looking at Claressa, I said, Jesus Christ.
Oh, she in New York?
She was in New York here yesterday. She did a media workout here yesterday for her fight July 26th.
Oh, that's why you was drooling on your picture. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. It all makes sense. I was wondering why you was It makes sense now.
That man Clarence, you couldn't get that man to stop smiling. That man, you could punch Clarence in the stomach, he's gonna be still smiling. Man, stop playing with me.
Is it me? And here's another, not to change the subject because we still talking about women. Is it me?
You got it.
Hey, is it me or we getting introduced like every month? I find a new female boxer who is attractive I've never seen. It's like they coming out of nowhere. I just found what's this baby face assassin. Oh my goodness!
Yo,
like,
when I first saw Alicia Baumgartner standing outside the this is the Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia joint, and she was outside the Palladium, right? And I'm seeing her from a distance, but I'm not knowing who she is. But I see people walking up on her. And one of the security guards came back and he said, "That's Alicia Baumgartner." So you know, I started to speed up a little bit with my walk. Not because I wanted an autograph,
right? You want to
but the closer I got to her, the more beautiful she looked.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got close to her, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" But yeah, there's a lot of beautiful. See, you know what the thing is? I don't want to be involved with no female boxer because if she looks too manly, you know, it's like they have to look a certain way for them to like you. Because if you look too manly, I don't. If you out here looking like, I don't want to call no names, but if you just don't look like you approachable, I'm not into all that.
No, I got you.
There's a lot of beautiful.
I just got introduced to baby face assassin probably about 2 weeks ago, and she's a hottie. She's another one. She undefeated 10-0.
They let these pretty faces fool them. When these women, don't let them faces fool y'all.
You're right.
These women can fight. When I looked at Claressa yesterday, that girl is stacked.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? There's nothing about her that says she's out of shape. I looked at how wide her shoulders were, and then I looked at me, and I was like, "Yeah, you got to get your shit together, young man."
So pretty much what you saying is, Papoose upgraded. Is that what you saying?
He definitely did. He definitely did. Oh, yes, he did. Yes, sir. And Remy from let me tell you something. Remy's from a neighborhood that I know of that I've actually hung in. I went to school with. I've seen Remy before she even got in the rap game. That is definitely, and I'm a Bronx student. She's from the Bronx. I'm not gonna stick up a hug because she's from the Bronx. Right is right and wrong is wrong. He definitely upgrades.
Yeah,
He
I
definitely
mean,
upgrades.
just off of a maturity fact, he upgraded.
Yes.
At least Claressa is more mature than Remy.
Cause she got. Do you think because she got more to lose, D, or is it like they both got a status? But you think because she's a professional boxer, and
I think Claressa is more of a public figure than Remy Martin is.
Got you. I agree.
Remy, she's a female rapper, but she hasn't been on the top of the game in a long time. So her notoriety is not as profound as it once was. So I mean, when the whole Terror Squad pretty much split up, Remy Martin pretty much got forgotten about, and then she had to serve that time in jail. So a lot of people
she had to do it 7 years.
A lot of people forgot who Remy Martin was. So she's still in the process of digging her name back up, but at this point in time, she's older, and so the game is kind of like passed her by.
Got you. So, no, you made a perfect breakdown. Perfect breakdown. I agree.
Yeah. And then her fan base after doing what she did with Pat kind of went down. So nobody's out there saying, "Oh, Remy's coming to town. I'm going to get a ticket." There's nobody out there really doing that. I was just telling my wife that the other day, and I said she was in the Bronx and she was performing at this club that all the rappers come to. And if you looked at the way the crowd was, there wasn't nobody really like, you know what I'm saying, really into it like that. Because since the Pap joint, a lot of people was rocking with Pap. They were rocking with both of them, but the way when she did what she did, even in the Bronx, we was like, Remy. Usually we will ride with you, but on this one, nah.
Yeah, because you gotta remember when Remy was starting to make a name for herself, she got locked up. Right when she was starting to make a name for herself, she got locked up. And then while she was gone, you had people like Nicki Minaj come out. You had people like Cardi B come out.
Yeah.
And then at the time when Remy Martin was trying to make a name for herself, you still had Little Kim out there. You had Foxy Brown still out there. You had Charlie Baltimore out there.
Yeah, you still had a few people out there. That was
You still had other female rappers, and she was trying to make her name at that time. But right when she was about to make her name, she ended up getting locked up, and then Big Pun passed away, which Big Pun was the reason why she came into the game.
Yeah,
he was his artist. She wasn't part of Fat Joe. She was part of Big Pun.
She was part of Big Pun.
Okay, D, I see you with your hip hop knowledge. I'm impressed over here. Okay.
No, because bro, it's true. That was his artist.
He dropping
names. That was his artist, and then once Pun passed, Joe could have, and this is why I say people got to stop always talking about him, because I said Joe could have easily not dealt with her and just let her stay where she was at. Hey, you was his artist. I don't have to deal with you. But he helped her to his best ability, and you know what I mean. When she got locked up, that had nothing to do with Joe. You know what I'm saying? That was some shit you had going on with old girl. Rather you did it or not, you had to go through the time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's actually dope that you brought that up, that situation, because I didn't even think about it. Fat Joe was pretty much like Jake Paul to Amanda Serrano.
You know what it is.
Right.
You do things for people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something, and everybody loves you. And this is not just with music. This is life. Everybody loves you until there's that one day where you can no longer do anything for them anymore. Now they make you a bad person. Oh, Marcus ain't shit. D Free, you ain't shit. Clarence, you ain't shit. It's all good when I'm taking care of you. I'm putting you in these houses. I'm paying the car note. I'm making sure your kids go to the best schools. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to places around the world that you can't even pronounce. But the minute all that comes to an end, I'm the biggest piece of shit in the world. And this is the world that we live in. This is not just with being a celebrity. You could have a regular 9-to-5 job and freaking been working at Walmart for 10 years, but you're doing this for everybody. You're helping them with this. But the minute that you can no longer do it because you don't want to do it anymore, or we had a fallout, or you've been messing the bag up, now I'm the biggest piece of shit.
Clarence, ain't that, and what you, I agree 100%, but ain't that boxing fans too? You'll have 2 fight gauntlets.
Oh, yes.
And then the moment you fight somebody, take a tune up. Oh, this dude ducking. Oh, this dude fighting a tomato can. Oh, this like,
why do you always hear me say, I am not here for your comfortability? That's why I always tell people, I'm not here for your comfortability. Because if I was, oh, Jesus Christ, who would benefit from it? I wouldn't. If I was here for your comfortability, what am I benefiting from it? And the minute I stop making you comfortable, now it's, oh, what's wrong with him? You always do this. This is why I always tell people, you got to do you. You can't be here for people's comfortability, man. Because say if Harry Runs Boxing becomes a $1 million, $1 trillion company, and now you know how it is. You start gaining all these new people, or people that you've been new. They always got to hit you with that. Don't forget me. You got to tell me that shit. I already know you trying to get something out of me, because if you've been with me, why would I forget you?
Right.
I can't forget you. I can't forget Marcus. I can't forget D Free. I can't forget nobody that's been subscribed to me. Everybody who's ever came on my Instagrams I can't forget any of y'all. How can I do that if y'all been rocking with me for the last 4 or 5 years? You will never have to tell me, hey, Clarence, don't forget me now. How can I forget you? The only people you need to forget is the people you never had a relationship with. That's never done nothing for you. It's easy for me to forget them because we never had nothing in common. We never conversate. We never did nothing for each other. I tell my wife that all the time. I said, listen, when I get to be where I need to be, I don't know about you, but a lot of people that's cool with you, they ain't gonna be cool with me, and they damn sure ain't gonna live off our expense. So I suggest you fix that right now, because there's a lot of people that think they're gonna come with you when you're successful, and it's not happening. But yeah, you live and learn that you can't please anybody. But like you said, yeah, these boxing fans I can't call them fans. I don't even know if I want to call them casuals anymore. I think that's too much respect. I think calling them casuals is too much respect, because even calling them casuals, even calling them casuals is still giving them a title. I don't know what you call these people. I don't know what you call them. I don't know what you call them. I really can't give them a name, because just when you think you got them figured out, you don't. Because they'll say this today to you, and tomorrow will say something else. So you like, whoa. But yesterday you said, yeah, well, that was yesterday. This is how I feel today. And it's like, yo, you know what? So I can't even give them the title as casual. I don't know what to call them, Ohio. I don't know what to call them. And since me and you first talked from my first conversation till now, it's got worse. It's got worse. You got Turkey Out and Sheik doing this thing. You got Jake doing this thing. Everybody's doing their thing. And people are still going to the office, putting in complaints.
Yeah.
And
you got to watch those people too that
it's not that they can't change their mind. It's just that you can't change your mind every time.
Right.
Like, you going on different channels changing your mind. Yeah, I know I said this on his channel, and then now you on this person's channel saying it, and now you saying this. It's like, a lot of people are just looking for the wrong attention in the wrong places. They're looking for the wrong attention, and sometimes people just need to keep their opinions and their thoughts to themselves, because if you're going to put your opinions and your thoughts out in public, only thing I'm asking is make sure that they make sense.
I agree.
Don't make you know what I'm saying? Don't say stuff that you think that people want to hear. You tell people what they need to hear.
Bars.
You understand? That's why when you hear me talk, I'm not telling you what you want to hear. I'm telling you what you need to hear. And if you feel like you don't need to hear it, you're more than welcome to go somewhere else, because nobody's forcing you to be here. See, people come to people's channels to see what they can get out of them, hoping that they catch you saying something so they can run back. Rather, if they be a channel or a troll, they'll go back and say, well, you know what I'm saying? And this is why it be so much confusions with different content creators, because then when that person goes over there and say something, they go, well, yeah, that guy don't know what the hell he's talking about. Now we got a problem, because now the word gets back that, hey, he said you don't know what you're talking about because somebody went over there and said you said this, and then this is why we have content creators that never met a day of their life, that never been in the same room, breathe the same air, have an issue with each other.
I think, and I'm gonna say this, I think some of them purposely try to do that to for attraction too. If they feel like you higher than them, then you know that's the old cornball.
Yeah. You know, I don't. You know, me and you talked about this plenty of times. I get on here to either talk about life, I talk about boxing, or we talk about whatever it is, and then respectfully we get off. I think that's why I've been, in my opinion, somebody don't have to agree with me. In my opinion, I've been, and mind you, being monetized does not just make you successful. What makes you successful in life, doing this on this YouTube, is also staying consistent, rather if you monetize or not.
Facts. No, you speaking. I always say that. I always say that.
Staying consistent, right? Everybody thinks that, hey, as long as you're not monetized, nobody's listening to you or paying attention to you, and that's why you're not getting the views that you get. I can care less about any of that, because I appreciate, rather if it's 30 views or rather if it's 54 views, I know, okay, people are watching. I had to learn a long time ago, even if you get 5 views, somebody's watching, but them 5 views can turn into 50 views, and them 50 views might turn into 100.
Yeah, and that's the passion though. That's the one thing about me, man. I've noticed that you just gotta have a passion and be consistent of what you're doing, man. You can't get sidetracked about other people's stuff, because what's for them is for them, and what's for you is for you. I've always been like that, man. That's why I stay in my own lane. I knew there was gonna be some consequences with the brand Ohio Run Boxing. There's a lot of people to be like, who this cat think he is? You know, it's gonna be it strikes controversy, you know, when you see it. So.
You know what? I think what you did, and it wasn't trolling, because there's a difference. I mean, shit, if I could have came out with a New York Runs Boxing, I'll probably have an issue everywhere I go. Because I know if I'd have went out of town, somebody damn sure would have whooped my ass. Somebody would have definitely came at me like, you're crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what you did was very bold, but it was necessary and it was needed. But if you think about the history of Ohio, the history of it, some of the most dangerous fighters in the world came out of Ohio. Even when you look at the amateur scene over there is nasty. And that's why it's so important for me to get there. That's why I told you, I said, Ohio, one day me and you going to have to do that show that me and you talked about.
Yeah. You definitely
I said, we got to, hey, at some point, bro, we've been talking too long, but next year we might have to shoot for that.
Yeah, definitely.
We got to do it because it's big, because we're not just content creators, and you're deeper in the game than I am, because there's some things that you can do that shit I can't do, but I just appreciate what it is that I can do. But when it comes to us having these conversations, everybody just got to stop trying to do and say what they think people want to hear. Just be you. It's like going to school, right? If you know you're the guy that don't smoke cigarettes or marijuana, and you're not the guy that skips school, don't try to become that guy. It's not you. Stay in your lane. Because now if you want to hang out with the dudes who sell drugs, the dudes that smoke cigarettes, the dudes that go around terrifying people, are you ready to be that person? Do you know what comes with that life?
Mm.
And somebody gonna know, yo, you ain't about that life. So what you doing? You know, we have to, you know, I was telling one of my friend's kids who just turned 14, and I was telling him because he was getting in trouble. And I was like, those kids that you running with, just know that when something happened, you'll be the one that they tell on.
Mm.
And it wasn't even your, and this, whatever happened, wasn't even your idea. But they gonna tell on you.
Mm-hmm.
I said, when you go to court and anything you get into, it ain't gonna be them there for you. It's gonna be your father. I want you to take that with you every time you go to school, and I want you to think about that when you look at them and you know they're about to go make a wrong move.
Yeah.
Because if they were any friends of yours, you know, they'll tell you, nah, stay here, man. But you know, that's how it is. But we can't teach these young kids anything if we looking at the older generation. Look how we act just on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the behavior.
I'm with
And
you.
not just boxing. Look at all these guys who got podcasts they're up there. They're up there. And look at the behavior.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
Their behavior is disgusting. You got these $1 million podcasts, and we have people still acting like they live in apartment 4D.
Yeah, you're right.
And I look at them and I go, your behavior is disgusting. Just because you make $1 million does not give you a right to be ignorant and stupid. You have to carry yourself a certain way because
you preach to the choir.
Yeah, we deserve Ohio as black men, right? We deserve to live in the nice neighborhoods,
Mm-hmm.
gated communities, backyards, property. We deserve to have all that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with having that. But we have to remember what it takes to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And just because we want all that, that doesn't mean that we forget where we come from. D Free doesn't forget where he come from. He come from a part of DC where it wasn't nice. I'm sure where you come from, being in Ohio, it wasn't nice. Where I damn sure come from, it's not nice. We know that. We don't need people to remind us, but we all have families and people we want to take care of. So if we want something more nice than what we got, we deserve to go get it. My brother D Free get a house, I'm gonna be glad. That's accomplishments. He came a long way. You understand what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with wanting the nicer things in life, but there's just certain things that you got to separate yourself from, because when you have companies and businesses out there that want to work with you, the minute they go to your social media and they see some of the people that you affiliate yourself with, that could kind of scare them off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what multi-millionaire you know still live in the project?
Just
I
saying.
don't know nothing. I mean, once you become the purpose of you making the money is to get out of where you at.
Just saying.
Everybody, even if you from the middle class, when you become a well-off person and you making way more money than you were making when you were middle class, you're gonna move into a nicer neighborhood. If you was the upper middle class and you become a multi-millionaire, you're gonna move to a nicer neighborhood than where you came from. Everybody moves up from where they came from. It's part of being promoted. You're not just being promoted on your job, you're being promoted in life. So when you get that promotion, your promotion carries over to your real life situation. It carries over to where you live at. You're not going to still. I live in a 1-bedroom studio. And when I started my job making minimum wage. Now I'm a vice president and I'm making $70,000. You think I'm gonna be still living in the projects in a 1-bedroom studio? No, I'm gonna move up out of there because now I got money where I can move to a better place. It's the same thing with everything. When you get a promotion in your job and it is feasible for you to move out of your situation, you will. Nobody stays where they at for their entire life unless they have no choice but to stay there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this because I'm about to get off here, man. Because I'm about to go head to work. It was good talking to y'all. And I'm glad I tapped in this morning, man. I just found out, D got some knowledge on the hip hop, and then I see this man, a Baltimore Ravens fan from the back seat. Maybe is you a Ravens fan?
Hey, I'm a Commanders fan, but I do represent my hood. I mean, I represent my state. I represent my state.
Ohio, you don't know that
is part of Maryland. They part of Maryland, so I do represent it, and they in the AFC.
They're about to give D Free a job with the Redskins, man. He about to have a job over there.
You're gonna see him, man. So you was supporting Jared Hurd too when he was on top.
Look, he got the stereo. Look at that, man. This dude is a show off.
Okay, cool.
Dude's a show off.
Well, it might make you feel good, and it's gonna throw you off at the same time. I'm one of the biggest Chicago Bear fans in Ohio ever.
Damn. I mean, it's nothing wrong with being a Chicago Bears fan. That's a historic franchise. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah,
with
it is.
I have a problem with people being a Cleveland Brown fan. I'm like,
yo, you know what? You're not right for that. You're not right for that,
man. I see y'all, man. Salute, man.
All right, Ohio, appreciate you. Hell nah, y'all stupid as hell, man. Y'all are too much, man. I don't know who else is on this. I don't know who else is on this.
On the card?
Okay. No, go ahead. Say what you was gonna say first, Free. I'm looking up some.
I be the people that say, "Oh, you hot Diddy, you didn't move, you forgot where you came from, you moved out of the hood." You only saying that because you can't move out of the hood. That's the only reason why you saying it, because you can't. Because I don't know anybody. Even when you look at the drug dealers, when they get to a certain level, they don't stay where they came from. They move up out of there. Every dude I know that started off nickel and diamond, once they start moving weight, they move.
And for all the ones who didn't move, found out the hard way. If they didn't die, they went to prison. But the smart ones, they turned that dirty money into clean money, and they went somewhere and opened up a company. Rather if it was a car wash, construction, they turned their dirty money into clean money. And that don't mean I forgot where I come from, but I'm damn sure ain't about to have $1 million on me, and I'm about to be in the hood. You crazy?
Just like Jada Kiss. Jada Kiss said, I'm still in the streets. Yeah, he's still in the streets. But trust and believe, he don't live around where he grew up at. Jada Kiss don't live around Walburn. I know where Jada Kiss live at. I know where he grew up at, and I know where he lives at now. He don't live in the same neighborhood that he grew up in.
Cheek Luke said the same thing. He said, I used to go on tour, couldn't wait to get off tour to get back to the block. He said, after a while, I realized I started missing where I came from. I missed it. I want to get away. I ain't got no reason to come to the block. Now when I come through, I say what I got to say and I get up out of there. Yeah, because everybody's not happy for your success. I don't care if that's your hood. Everybody ain't happy for your success.
You always have a snake in the grass. It might not be everybody. It might not be the one that you think of. There's always a snake in the grass.
Come on, man.
I don't know one set of woods in the United States where you can't find a snake. Not one. There's always a snake in the grass. And if you don't get the concept, the woods is the project.
Yes, sir.
The woods is the project.
That's for people who don't know. They don't know about that one, man. Only ones that if you know, you know. Yeah, man. I'm never. You know what? I don't care if you tell me that I'm forgetting where I come from. I don't give a damn because I don't have to prove nothing to you. I wasn't put on this earth to serve you. I wasn't put on this earth to serve you, and I wasn't here to help you with your financial. I'm not here to make you comfortable. Now, if I want to put you in a position where you could take your family out the hood, I will more than welcome. I will be glad to do it. But you're not going to talk to me as if I owe you something. That's why a lot of these celebrities find out the hard way when everything is said and done, and they don't have nothing to show for what they did in their career because you took care of every damn body. Man, get the hell out of here. What I look like?
Exactly, Optimus. And that's the main thing that I said. That's why I tell my wife every day, I don't want to buy a house in DC. They're like, why you don't want to buy a house? Where you from? No, it's not where I'm from because they got a nice part of DC. I don't want to buy a house in DC because I don't own my land. DC is federal grounds. You don't own the land, you just own the house. I want to own my property. I don't want to just own the house. I got to pick my house up and move it somewhere else.
No. Yeah, I want you telling me. I don't want you telling me what to do. You know, somebody ride by and say, "Sir, you can't have that in the yard." You know, the city will give you a summons. What? This is my house. Yeah, it might be your house, but this ain't your land. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, bro.
But I mean, like I said, I mean, hats off to the ones that decide to stay where they from. Just, I guarantee you, you're not sleeping no peaceful nights. You wondering, you got cameras all over your house. You got alarm systems on every door. You making sure ain't nobody breaking in. You ain't sleeping.
That's why when I see these idiots, and I hate to say it because the first thing you say, people should be able to do what they want to do with their money. That's cool, but when I see these idiots that got a car that costs more than the rent that they paying for where they live, and you going back to a fucked up environment, I look at you and go, wow, you care more about the car you drive. You don't even care about it. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Living a better life. Well, if it was meant for me to move out, I'd have moved out already. Well, you can't because you sitting here buying all these expensive cars and you got freaking $200 pair of Jordans on every time I turn around. And you buy 50 bottles of Henny for everybody in the damn hood. That's why your ass can't go nowhere, stupid.
Yeah, I mean
stupid.
I mean, if you live in a 2-bedroom apartment and you riding around in a Bentley, something wrong. Something wrong. You paying more for that car than you pay for your rent.
They don't understand that, dumbasses. But the first thing people say, stop criticizing people. Let people live their life. Yeah, you can live your life, but you damn sure ain't gonna tell me how to live mine. And if I want to move out and never come back, I'm free to do that. I'm free to do that. I'm not saying I would, but I'm free to do that if I want to.
And I said Bentley because I actually knew a guy that lived in an apartment that had a Bentley. This dude literally, and I found out the reason why he lived in an apartment and he had a Bentley is because the dude was a pimp. The dude had prostitutes that worked for him, and so he was able to buy a Bentley. But I'm like, dog, why would you buy a Bentley instead of just going buying a house? You got money to buy a Bentley, you got money to put down on a house. I'm like, that don't even make sense. So you gonna have a Bentley living in an apartment. You think ain't nobody gonna pay attention to you?
Come on, man.
Bentley, your car costs more than your rent for the next 10 years.
They still breaking into people's cars in New York, picking your car up and putting that shit on milk crates. Dudes is coming outside like, yo, look what they did to my car. And everybody thought that they was just trolling. No, in New York, they really breaking into your car, taking everything and leaving your shit on milk crates. So when you come out and you like, whoa, what the hell's going on here?
My wife showed me something on Instagram. I seen it already, but she showed it to me on Instagram. The lady had got a brand new car. It wasn't no top of the line car. I think it was like a Honda Sonata or Toyota Camry or something like that. It was something not top of the line or anything like that. But she came outside and they stole all 4 of her car doors. Not the tires.
I ain't mean to laugh.
She came outside, she had no car doors.
That's the way you said it. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't even know what I would say if I came outside and my car didn't have no doors on it. I'm like, no, you whole damn car. I can't do nothing with this.
Now you sitting here riding. You taking Vicky to work. She freezing.
I come outside. I'm like, babe, go in the house, babe. Might as well go back in the house. Well, I go to work. We ain't going to work.
You taking her to work in the same cover y'all sleep on. She got that shit on her in the car.
I be like, nah, you ain't going to work today. Why I ain't going to work? You ain't got no goddamn doors.
You ain't got no damn doors.
They took all the goddamn doors off the car.
But I'm being real with y'all, man. I tell people this all the time. I'm not telling you to get successful and forget everybody. but you just make sure that you do what's best for your family. And I don't mean your whole damn family, but your immediate family, the people that's in your household, or whatever, you make sure you handle that. You take care of that. You ain't out here trying to take care of 1,000 goddamn people. Man, I ain't doing all that shit. The first meal that I run up on, shit, I'm out.
He said there's a dude in his project that got a Maserati. Dog.
Oh yeah, he wildin'.
The cheapest Maserati that I've seen that you can buy, and it was a used one. That joint was still $70,000. A Maserati, and you live in a project? Dog, come on now. Y'all gotta do better. Y'all gotta do better. Get your priorities straight.
They don't want to get it straight. They just think that, and then wonder why the government treats us the way they do. Because look at, you don't think they out here watching what you do? And some of y'all be talking about, I'm going through it. I ain't got no food in my house. I'm going through all this, but then go to the damn social media. Your social media says different.
Remember, I told you my wife said I wasn't going to get that daggone Lambo. There was a Lambo that I could have got. She was like, "You're not getting no goddamn Lambo. We live in an apartment complex. Not getting no damn Lambo." Man,
yeah.
Me pulling up to my daggone apartment in a brand new Lambo. Nigga would be like, "This nigga got a Lambo?"
I'd have looked at you like, "Free, you done lost your mind. What happened to the house?" Shit.
I would have had to put that daggone that alarm system that warns people would get there within 5 feet. You can't come close to. I don't want no balls being bounced around my car. I don't want nobody walking past my car. I'm gonna have to put a cover over it every single day. Nah, I'm not doing all that.
Man, look.
Wait till I get a house with a garage and I can just drive it into my garage.
I ain't playing no games. That's why that's why I'm working so hard on doing what I'm doing. Because I'm trying to take no Doug Zone, and I want to get it sanctioned. I want to get it sanctioned, man.
I will tell you, I did see. Now, just because you get a house doesn't mean you can still go out there and get any car. Because I see the dude. I don't know if it's a dude or female, but it was this house around my old neighborhood. And at first I thought he was just having a get together, but then I saw multiple times these cars was out there multiple times throughout the day. It was like morning times I ride past, they was out there. At night they was out there, and in the afternoons they was out there. This dude had 4 different brand new Chargers out there. And I ain't talking about just the regular box model. I mean the stock model Charger. I'm talking about the Hellcat. They had like 4 different Hellcats out there, and I'm like, hold up, those 4 Hellcats combined cost more than what that house is worth. Why would you have all of those daggone cars and you live in that little house? Like this was a 1-level house that probably had maybe 3 rooms at the most, but they had 4 Hellcats out there. I was like, nah, that don't even look right. No, they didn't even have enough parking space. They was parked up on the grass. The Hellcats was parked on the grass. They had 1 in the driveway, 1 behind the one in the driveway, and 2 up on the grass. I was like, y'all got y'all priorities messed up. I'd have bought me a new house.
Yeah, that didn't. They don't think, and that's why I be like, when I get to where I need to be, stay out of my face. I'm not here.
I'm about to switch over to my phone real quick. I gotta take my daughter.
Go ahead. Good morning, though, everybody. Peace and blessings to everybody, man. We was just doing the chop up for anybody that's coming in wondering what we was talking about. You didn't see. We always talking about Claressa Shields, T-Rex. We had got into it about her next fight coming up. We talked about a whole different things on here. Had my brother Ohio Runs Boxing up here rapping with us, so just in case some people might have got lost. Of course, Claressa has a fight coming July 26th. Her media workout was yesterday in Brooklyn. Shout outs to her and Pap, shout outs to Gleason, shout out to Bruce, the man who runs it.
God, I forgot I moved this damn seat up. Almost broke my damn kneecap.
Don't break your kneecap, man. It ain't like you're a young man. Last thing you need to do is to break your damn kneecap.
I had to move my
No,
seat
I
back. I
didn't.
forgot I had moved it up.
I didn't. No, I met Ohio when he came up here for Keyshawn Davis' last fight, and me and him, he came to Harlem because he has a friend who lives in Harlem, and when he came to Harlem, I actually live on the other side of where he was from. When he came to Harlem, we were sitting in the McDonald's and we was talking, and I was explaining to him why I wasn't going to be attending that fight. So, that was our first time meeting. I had been talking to Ohio for probably about 3 years already. So, but I'm trying to get him up here for my annual barbecue. I would love for him to attend it if he can, but I know he's a busy man a lot. So, but yeah. So, let me see we got Caleb Plant this week, right?
Next week.
Next week?
Yeah, this week we got Josh Taylor.
Oh, that's right, Josh Taylor.
Josh Taylor fighting this week. Next week is Caleb Plant and Jamal Charlo fighting on the same card.
I gotta reach out to his pops. I think I need to do something with his pops and get him up here. Try to reach out to him. I would love to hear from him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get him up here.
I want to see how he looks. See if he looks. I mean, I can't expect much from him because he didn't look that great against Jose Benavidez 2 years ago. And then, like I said, he had another 2-year layoff. And so he's probably not going to look as good as he looked in that fight.
Yeah.
I just hope he get past Cornflake.
Well, it's no telling. I don't know much about Cornflake to judge him. So yeah, we'll have to see how this movie plays out. I'm trying to be more careful about how I judge fighters because, just like I said, just because you're not familiar with who they are or who they fought, that doesn't take away their boxing ability. So I'm gonna see how this plays out with old Cornflake.
Yeah, I mean, every dog has their day. So even though he might not be a top level fighter, when you got another fighter that's been out of the ring for 2 years and they only fought once in the last 4 years, and then you have another fighter who's active, but he's not fighting the top level competition, but he's active.
Yeah.
You'll be like, okay. Because if you take the names away, you automatically say, oh, well, the guy that's more active is probably going to win the fight. But then you take the names out, you be like, oh, nah, I changed my mind. I think Jamal's going to win. Why? Because it's Jamal?
He said, why? Yeah.
Because if I would have said we got 2 fighters fighting, one guy has been active, but he hasn't fought the top level competition, and the other guy only fought once in the last 4 years, you would say the more active guy is going to win.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty impressive, though. I'm glad to see him come back. I would like to definitely know what's up with I think I'm gonna do one on Jamel. I'm gonna do one on him.
Right. They got on me the other day because they asked, do I feel good about Deontay Wilder coming back? I was like, no. I like, because at this point he's hurting his legacy. And I'm like, this is a title eliminator. I said, dog, I don't care what it is, dog. I said, I don't give Deontay Wilder at this point in time in his career, based off of what I saw in his last 2 fights, even the last 3 fights. If you be honest, if you look at his last 3 fights, I don't give him a real chance of being a champion again with the guys that's champion right now.
Yeah.
Because everybody look at the LANI fight and say, oh, well, he still got the power. Yeah, he's always going to still have the power. But does he still have the ability to set up his power shot? Because if you look at the Robert Helenius fight, he just threw a shot he wasn't doing a whole lot of great movement in there and landing the stiff
Nah,
jab and
yeah,
all
he
that.
just happened to catch. He just happened to catch Robert with something.
Yeah, because if you look at it, Robert Hellenius was pressing the action. He had Wilder in the corner. Wilder just threw a shot. Wilder threw a
Yeah,
shot and he landed, and Hellenius went to sleep. But
yeah,
that's Robert Hellenius. That's not a top level opponent. And then you
yeah,
saw what he looked like against Joseph Parker, and then you saw what he looked like against Big Bang. So I'm
yeah.
like, dog. I'm like, dog. At this point, dog, I said he needs to just go ahead and retire because yeah, it's a title eliminator, but I don't give him a real shot to win. Like he only has a puncher's chance if he lands the shot. But against Daniel Dubois, do I give him a real chance of winning that fight? No. Against Usyk, do I give him a real chance of winning that fight? No. I saw what Usyk
Um,
did against Tyson Fury. I saw what Daniel Dubois did against daggone AJ. And AJ was coming at Daniel Dubois.
so Bruce,
AJ was literally throwing punches.
yeah. Uh, what do you feel about What do you feel about his trainer?
I don't even know who his trainer is. I thought it was Malik Scott, but I don't know. Is he still with Malik or is he with somebody else?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything, so I believe Malik is still with him.
If he's still with Malik, I, Malik is trying to get him to do something different instead of just brushing up on what he does great. You just got to fine tune what he does great because at this point, he doesn't have the legs to bounce around the ring. You shouldn't be having him try to move around the ring like he's 26, 27 years old anymore. You need to have him be more flexible, more elusive with his upper body and his head movement, and be more consistent with the jab and the straight right hand. Be consistent setting the shot up. But to try to have him out there moving around the ring, that's not what he's good at. He's not good at that. That's something you would have had to train with him when he was 19 years old coming into the game. You got to
Yeah,
remember, he got a late start at boxing, and now he's an older man. The man is about to be 40 years old, if he's not 40 already. I think he's like 38, 39 right now. So that's like somebody getting me to try to show me how to do uh new movements on the football field. No, I'm not. I'm just going to do what I normally do. I'm just going to chase down the ball and try to knock it down, or I'm just going to chase down the wide receiver and tackle him. I'm not.
yeah,
I'm not out here trying to learn no new moves. I'm too old for that. It's the same thing. Once you get to a certain age, that's why the saying is you can't teach an old dog new tricks because your body can't move the way you want it to move. Your body is set. It only can do a certain amount of things. If you ain't been training your body to do it, it's not gonna be able to do it. So you trying to train him now to be a boxer and move around the ring. He's not a boxer. He's a puncher. He's a
yeah,
puncher. He's not a boxer.
yeah.
So
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't. I'm not going to try to entertain the conversation as far as when somebody want to do it because all they going to do. Not saying you're doing it, but other people, all they going to do is bash him and say all this and say all that and bring the fairy shit up. I'm like, I'm not even thinking about that. I enjoy seeing him where he's at, retired. But if he wants, if he wants to come back, that's on him. But for
Yeah,
other people, yeah,
I'ma still support him. I'ma still support him, but like
yeah,
I said, I don't expect him to look great. Now, will he win? I don't know. I don't know. And I know that this guy was working on the French fries last week, so um, it's not to say much about his opponent, but that doesn't mean that he can't go out there and beat Wilder. Wilder hasn't looked like Wilder in a long time.
yeah,
It's like when Mike Tyson got to that age and he was getting beat by guys he should have never got beat by. is because he's at a certain age where he should have just called it quits, but he don't know how to call it quits. Same thing with Roy Jones. When Roy Jones got to that age and he needed to call it quits, he couldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. Because if he comes back and it happens again, then it's like, okay, Wilder, we don't we're gonna need you to just sit down, bro.
And that's what I said. I said, dog, this doesn't help his legacy. This actually hurts his legacy because if he go out there and get knocked out by the French fry guy, how does that help his legacy? They already was condemning the man for being a unapologetic black man. They was condemning him for that. Now he goes out here and he get beat by the French fry guy. Man, they gonna say, oh yeah, he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. He don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. He got beat by the French fry guy. He wasn't that good.
Yeah. They're gonna definitely have something negative to say because they already don't like him as it is. So what it does is give these trolls and everybody else. That's why I said I'm not going to be participating in it because people will come to your channel when you ain't even talking about it. Somebody will come to your channel and be like, well, Wilder got knocked, sparked out, or what I'm saying? Like I'm not even entertaining that shit. Like anybody that come to me with that, automatically they getting blocked. So
I mean, they're like Wilder got knocked the fuck out. I'm like, he absolutely did it. I said he shouldn't have been in the ring. Yeah, he absolutely did get knocked the fuck out. Yep, you're absolutely right. I have no argument with it. So you came in here thought I was gonna say something different or get mad. No, I'm agreeing with you. I said he shouldn't have got in the ring. But like people don't want you to say anything bad about Wilder. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying I don't believe he needs to continue fighting.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Somebody asked me the same thing about Earl Spence. I was like, I miss seeing Earl, but no.
That should be who Jake Paul should be trying to get in the ring. He should be trying to get Earl in the ring.
That last fight with Crawford was like, you might as well. It looked like he was in there with 5 people. That shit was just like, damn, Jesus. I don't know, Jake Paul. You know what? I usually say I won't entertain who he fights, but that might be one fight I might be into.
I mean, that's more of a competitive fight. Jake Paul fighting.
But what if Jake went in there and I don't want to say washed him? What if he actually beat him? That should be crazy.
If Spence beat Jake Paul?
No. If Jake beat Spence, if Jake was to beat him,
it wouldn't be crazy. I'm like, okay, this is what we believe from Spence. The man been out of the ring too long, and he doesn't have it anymore.
I ain't gonna lie though. Jake, I ain't gonna hold you though. Jake stay active though. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
He stay active though. I ain't gonna lie.
It'll be exactly what we thought. Spence need to hang it up. So, but like I said, I just like I want to have, because it's already bad enough. We got to deal with him losing to Tyson Fury, him losing to Joseph Parker, and now him losing to Big Bang Zane. And then you're going to add the French fry guy on top of that?
Why you call it the French fry guy?
No, because they said, I'm just going by what everybody said. They said he worked at a fast food restaurant. So I'm like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what they said. They said he works at a fast food restaurant. He's a pro fighter, but his full-time job is at a fast food restaurant. This is what I heard. I don't know. I don't know this guy personally. I don't know nothing about the guy. But this is what I heard, that this guy works at a fast food restaurant. The same way I thought they was trolling when they said that Josh Padley was an electrician, until I actually looked at it, and he is an electrician. He was working an electrician job, and he got the phone call to fight Shakur.
I ain't gonna lie though. Either way you looking at it, electrician shit, they make money. He making money.
Yeah, but so no, they say he works at a fast food restaurant from what I heard. Like I said, I don't know the guy personally. I'm just going by what I hear.
So now he's coming to flip Wilder like a burger.
I guess. I mean, when I looked the guy up on BoxRec, I didn't even pay attention to his record. I think he got like 5 losses.
Yeah.
He's not a real big puncher, but the dude looked from the picture, because they only do the head shot from the neck up. The dude looked muscular as hell. But I mean, he is fighting at heavyweight, so from the head up, you're going to look muscular. But I don't know. But it looked like the dude was muscular. Excuse me. So like I said, I've never seen this guy, never heard of him before. I gotta look him up to see exactly who he is and see how good of a fighter he is. But I mean, like I said, even if I don't even understand how they making this a daggone IBF eliminator. I'm like, an IBF eliminator? They got to be doing it just because it's Wilder in there.
Yeah.
I will say that they doing it just because it's Wilder in there, because this dude, if he's a daggone cook by day, he can't be no goddamn contender to be working at a goddamn working as a cook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, even as a contender, you're gonna be making some decent amount of money where you ain't gotta work a full-time job.
Well, for this guy, it's gonna be a bag for him.
He's at heavyweight, so as a contender at heavyweight, I'm gonna say they probably make somewhere between $50,000 to $100,000 per fight as a contender. I look at what daggone Brian Norman got for his fight.
Yeah.
He fought his fight to get the belt. He fought a guy and he made $150,000. So I'm like, okay, this guy's a heavyweight. If he's a contender, he got to be making somewhere between $50,000 to $100,000 per fight.
Yeah. I mean, what are we doing?
As I said, this guy, I don't know. Like I say, I'm thinking
when is that? When is that fight supposed to take place?
I think in a couple of weeks. I think it's in a couple of weeks.
What is it on?
If I'm not, it's on BLK Prime. This is another reason why I say it's hurting his daggone legacy. The man went from fighting on Showtime pay-per-view to fighting on the Zone pay-per-view to fighting on BLK Prime. We just seen the last fight BLK Prime put on when they did the daggone Greg Hatchett and Brian Norman Sr. The lights went out in the damn fight. We was looking at the fight and it looked like they was fighting in the middle of a parking lot. No, they said the spot where they was at, because this is what Doug Rightside said, because Doug Rightside was at the fight. He said the spot where they was at is like a lounge or something like that, or a nightclub or something like that. And so it was a lot of lights in there. I was like, well, the camera that we was looking from, the camera lights was out. Damn, my allergies is killing me. I'm like, the camera lights was out. It looked like y'all was in the dark. It literally looked like somebody had a flashlight out there shining on the daggone ring. So I don't know. BLK Prime. I'm like, all right. You go from being one of the top dogs in the sport of boxing, headlining every single one of your cards, to being on BLK Prime that's probably only going to produce roughly 1,000 views.
Yeah, that's boxing.
Wait, maybe he's doing it for the money. No, he's not getting that much money from BLK Prime.
People don't.
Bud Crawford got $10 million, and he pretty much bankrupt BLK Prime.
Shit. Bud got his bag and got up out of there. Thank you.
I mean, I don't know his financial situation, but according to him, he don't need the money in the sport of boxing. All right. I mean, if in your mind you still think you got it, who's am I to say that you don't? I'm just
Yeah.
letting you know. I'm just going by what I see when you out there fighting. It don't look like the same Wilder anymore. That Wilder is long gone.
Yeah. Fortunately, man, it is what it
Same thing about
is.
Manny Pacquiao. The only reason why I give Manny Pacquiao a chance of beating Mario Barrios because Mario Barrios just got beat up by Abel Ramos. Abel Ramos
Yeah.
is not good at all.
Yeah.
Now Abel Ramos, he's a durable guy, but to say he's good, you tripping. Abel Ramos ain't good. He's just
He said he
durable.
tripping. He said people don't be
And,
knowing what they be talking about, man. They just be running their
and Mario
mouth.
Barrios got gifted a win because Mario Barrios was getting beat around that ring like a rag doll. I'm like, dog, how they get into? I said, yeah, it's based off of name recognition because there's no reason that Abel Ramos shouldn't have won that fight. He was beating Mario Barrios like a rag doll.
You know how that go already.
Yeah.
You know how that goes. Politics and I don't know. The sport is funny, man. The sport likes who it likes, and they gonna
Hey,
make
I
sure
mean,
they
y'all
gonna make
want to?
sure
I mean,
certain
if
people get up.
you really want to give Wilder a payday, Jake Paul gonna make a fight with Wilder, dog. Go make a fight with Wilder.
Oh shit!
We might get 2-for-1. We might get 2-for-1. Wilder get a payday, and Jake Paul get his block knocked off. We might get 2-for-1.
Oh man, you stupid. I
What's
I
going
didn't
on,
think
underrated?
that. Underrated. What up, my guy?
But
You want me to check my email? I'm over here feeding my cat. Y'all gotta excuse me because I gotta make sure she eats because I gotta clean it up. I gotta do so. I don't have no time to stop to be trying to feed her. Yeah, I didn't think of that though, man. That's something different.
yeah. I mean, and if Jake Paul does beat Wilder, that gives Jake Paul more notoriety.
Yeah, that's money there. Yeah, so yeah, that's too much. Yeah, that's good. We have to see how that turns out.
Well,
We have to see how that turns out. But people gonna bash and say whatever they want. Now, at this point, I could care less. You know what I mean? You can't please people, and whatever these fighters want to do is what they want to do.
yeah.
I don't be having no beef with it because, like I tell people, I'm not making none of their money. Shit,
Not at all.
if I was making any of their money, I wouldn't have the complaints I have today if I was making any of their money. And that's what some of these people got to understand. I can't tell nobody what type of business move to make because I don't know their financial. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
I don't
if
know
I knew that if I had that type of money, nigga, my dad gonna be in a studio.
shit.
I
I'm
would have
sorry.
an actual studio.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to get No Doug Zone, trying to get it sanctioned and shit, which I would love to do that. That's one of my goals, which I don't know if that will be accomplished, but I'm going to try. So, I got my ideas of what I want to do, like what Jake Paul's doing, with what he's doing with the females, is what I'm trying to do in amateur boxing. So I'm trying to do that. I'm gonna work on getting that done. It's just gonna take some time. Right, y'all. Sorry, y'all. Y'all hear me moving in the background. I got a lot going on early in the morning. Make sure you smash that like button. I mean, good morning to everybody. Plus, we would just talk about different things that y'all can see, like I was telling y'all. We was really here today to talk about our queen, the GWOAT, Claressa Shields. For July 26th, everybody make sure they tune in. I guess after the 26th of July, we can talk about what'll be next for her, what's out there. We know there's a lot of female fighters out there. It's just a lot of them we never heard of. The Free confirmed that it's 29 women in that heavyweight division. Let's see who steps up to the plate after the 26th of July. You know, she might have 2 more fights, 3 more maybe. Let's see, man. And you know, and the sad thing about it is, by the time Claressa retires, there's gonna be a girl that's probably gonna come do what she did or do better. And then the first thing y'all say is, either y'all gonna say, I bet you Claressa can't beat her, or she can't beat Claressa, or Claressa needs to come out of retirement to fight this girl. This is the first thing y'all gonna do. Y'all know how it goes already. Some of y'all just don't care nothing about these fighters. Y'all can care less. But it's cool. It is what it is. So today I always say it, but and I was supposed to did it. Yes, well, yesterday I made up for that by giving y'all the Claressa Shields. So I made up for that. So I'll be back again today. The New York Knicks play tonight, Indiana. I might come. You know what? I don't even know. I might come back on Instagram. I don't know, man. I want to talk the New York and Indiana series, but I'll see. But other than that, we might come back with some more boxing. Who we gonna talk about? What? I don't know. We'll see. But y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Appreciate y'all. Continuing to smash the like button. Love y'all. Oh, I got you, Underrated. Love y'all. Everybody be good. Be safe out there. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Y'all know what it is. It's the No Doug Zone podcast. Let's go.